MC with Tech, and here's the video. The S22 Ultra, the Galaxy S22 Ultra, still with one of the best cameras in the game. So I know with the fairly new release of the iPhone Pro Max and the Google Pixel 7 Pro, that their cameras do a phenomenal job and are great in their own perspective. But the S22 Ultra, almost a year old, still has one of the best cameras out there. And today we're going to talk about the space mode or the astrophotography and the night mode on the Galaxy S22 Ultra. So with me, let's get into the video and let's talk about how great the photos are in this video. And like I said, this is just a few photos of the night mode on the S22 Ultra. I shot these on the day of the eclipse a few weeks ago, and actually these are the moon photos. I didn't do any photos of the eclipse. What I did was came that night, wanted to do pictures of the full moon. And like I said, this is a quick video, and in these pictures it was hard for me to get the night mode to kick in, I'm not gonna lie. So, but once it did, man, the pictures became phenomenal. So I tried taking a few pictures of the moon and couldn't get it into focus at first, and to get that night mode to kick in and get these shots. But when it did, it went to, man, one of the best pictures that I can get of the moon, you know. So like I said, at first it was a struggle. My pictures came out all right, but they didn't come out and do as I wanted them to do. And then all of a sudden that night mode kicked in, and man, this is why the S22 Ultra is the best camera in the game to me. And so when it comes down to these photos, you can see, like I said, at first I had the cloud cover over the moon and the photos didn't come out as precise as I want. But once it kicked in, I got it at the ultra wide, the wide angle. I got it at 30 times, 10 times. I'm in at 80 times, 60 times zoom in angles. And the astro photography on this camera is phenomenal, man. I mean, I have seen pictures from the Pixel and from the iPhone, and can't none of them do what this phone does. And so that's what makes the S22 Ultra a great camera phone. So let's get into the video. Let me narrate and get you through it. And the S22 Ultra dominates. Let's go. So like I was saying in the intro of the video, these are my first few clips of the full moon and how I was trying to get night mode to kick in on the S22 Ultra and was finding it difficult. And then it was a little cloud cover. And like I said, it was difficult. But once it kicked in and the clouds kind of moved out the way and it showed the image of the moon, it became phenomenal. And like I said, there's been no remastering of these photos, no photo editing. I'm going to get to that in the later part of the video, but look at the moon. Look how you can see the craters in the moon and how this photo went. Once I took my time and then night mode kicked in and I found out what I was doing wrong, man, these are the ultra wide and wide angles of the moon and how they kicked in on the S22 Ultra. And I have not found the other two cameras on the other two phones to do this much. And I do know people with Pixel phones, even though I don't own one, or iPhones. My sister owns the new iPhone Pro Max, and she couldn't do this, she said, you know, so she has to play with it a little bit more to find out if she can get the astrophotography to kick in like this without using any kind of editors or any kind of third-party apps. Or she just is like, man, this is phenomenal, as she took a look at it. And so even the adjustment of how it went dark had nothing to do with me or any photo editing. It just went kind of like dark to light. And these photos are in order. And I found that to be a little something kind of strange, but maybe it's just something in the camera. But look at how crisp and clear that the moon looks in the photo and the images that you get. And like I said, these are at 30 times zoom, 60 times, 80 times. As I'm zooming in, and the images that it's capturing, man, are phenomenal. And I gotta say, I was impressed. I was overly impressed. You know that this camera phone can do this. And these are some of the things you would have to have in a high profile camera, like, you know, a Canon, a Nikon, or the Sony type cameras, you know, the high profile ones, you know what I'm saying, that you can zoom in, get these type of photos. And man, I found this to be very phenomenal on the S22 Ultra. And like I said, tell me a camera phone that can do this and capture these images. I am looking deep for somebody to leave comments in. So this is a remastered photo. So if I was remastering them, you see this red aura that's around the moon, that's what it would look like. Seeing the little red aura around these last couple photos if they were being remastered. Now the third one in this photo clip is remastered, but it didn't leave that ring. So that's what I'm trying to say. When it comes to this camera, it is phenomenal. Like I said, this is just going to be a short video of it. I love it. So to show you that I didn't remaster any of the photos except for the last 3 in clips, and I wanted to show you how I went into and remastered some of these photos, that how it's remastered through my Galaxy phone. And so I didn't want to give anybody any false pretense that I were editing any of the photos. So this is me remastering at the end of it, just showing you and giving you clips if they were remastered. See how brighter they get and how more crisp they look. But as you get closer, you're going to notice that there's going to be a red ring around anything that you remaster. And that's something I didn't want to do, is remaster anything and give you that image. And this is why this camera is the best. So you see the red ring that is around the planet, or not the planet, I'm sorry, the moon. That's what remastering would do. It would create that red ring and give you that image. And that's why I'm glad I can show you this on the S22 Ultra, that this is what it would do if you were remastering it and trying to change up the photo of the moon on this camera. And this what makes the S22 Ultra the best phone camera out there to me. You know that, hey, you can go into it, you can remaster photos if that's what you choose to do, but you can get good quality photos from your S22 Ultra. And I'm not saying that in any other camera you can't, but man, where can you do this at and get that astrophotography or that space time zoom on your camera, or what they call space zoom, the S22 Ultra. MC with Tech, hit like and subscribe, follow the channel. Let's go.